morning, Burn Bootcamp East Brainerd. Sophie, your lead trainer, checking in with you this morning. I am soloing it out today on our Wellness Wednesday, but we will be back at highlighting all of our team in the coming Wellness Wednesdays. The holidays, I know for y'all, for myself, have been absolutely insane. So I'm going to jump on here for it today. I know we paused it last week. But again, adding to the benefits and the bulk of your membership is that it's not just an in-gym experience. So you're getting the private Facebook group, you're getting the, of course, the in-gym floating floor and everything that has the benefits, but nutritional value and focus meetings, community support, celebration, so much more added to than just a workout. But as we go into just bulking up again your membership a little bit more on the wellness side of things, you have access to all of these nutritional line now. It's live. So just letting you all know that that is available to y'all. And we've only gone through one so far, which is the creatine. 2 weeks ago, touched base on that with Erica. So having paused last week, we're now getting into this glorious product right here, which is, it's key. I mean, they're all key and they're all super important. That's why I push them all. But AFTERBURN being the protein powder that Burn does, clean, and I'll go into the actual details of it. The clean protein that we look at. Hi, Tessa, how are you? That is definitely something I wanted to reference in our actual nutritional guide, because some of these frequently asked questions are actually, I hear on the daily, are very important to have answered. And I know if we can answer the most questions that we can on protein, we can get you all going on that protein supplement. You'll see the gains faster. You'll see the goals hit faster. Speaking of goals, new year, new goals. I know we don't all necessarily subscribe to the new year, new me, because you're still the same you, but you got new goals and they're big. And going into 2026, I know we're all super excited, today being New Year's Eve, to really crush some big goals in 2026, especially when those Burn Bootcamp East Brainerd doors open. So excited. Construction is happening. There's a lot of movement towards the gym being open and available for y'all. But for today, since we've got just the highlight of nutrition, let's go over some AFTERBURN. So again, this is the protein. I've got the vanilla here. You're going to see samples of this protein at the next pop-up camp, which is this Saturday, the 3rd. At the 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. Express Camp. Super important that you're able to. We have the vanilla to try, like I said, and there's chocolate, and there's one other, and I keep forgetting what it is. It's like a coffee flavor or mocha flavor. I've got to remember what that is on the list. There's a third flavor, but for now, chocolate and vanilla as your basics on the two with the protein powder. So, just an overview. This is a whey-based protein. So you're looking at the number one component for your post-workout meal. It's not a meal replacement, and that's one of the questions we'll go over. It's definitely not a meal replacement, but it's something that you need. It's the building blocks of your muscles. So as you tear your muscles in a workout, which is a good thing, micro tears, we're building them back stronger, working out, we're getting those muscle fibers, not necessarily to expand, but to put those building blocks into them to make them bigger, because we know we want to get stronger, and that's not a bulk aspect. That is just to fuel your body correctly after your workout. So definitely post-workout routine, number one, and I'm just referencing again, some of these frequently asked questions are really great. This protein is clean and convenient. I think that's the number one thing. And I can also go into the fact that we have nutritional protein bars from Burn Bootcamp as well. So not only do we have the protein powder, but we can reference what the bars are, and we might highlight those in another Wellness Wednesday. But number one, it's low in calories. So not being a meal replacement, being low in calories, a lot of people are looking at the lower calorie intake for just their overall benefit in the new year. But it is low calories. It's 120 grams, 120 calories per serving. And then we know that gram-wise, we want 1 gram of protein per pound of ideal body fat. And this is highlighted in, and I can go on another tangent, this is highlighted specifically in Devin Klein's latest nutritional lineup with his podcast. He has several episodes on the Burn Bootcamp app, which is an add-on to your membership. You can get it Just ask us how you can get it, but you can get it added onto your membership, and it is a plethora. I mean, when I talk about a library of resources, there's the lives, there's quick motion, there's yoga, there's stretch, there's foam roll, there's pelvic floor strengthening, there's postpartum, looking at how to strengthen that body to get back into the gym. You're talking about when you travel, there's quick workouts on there. So again, tangent onto there, but also what they just added into the repertoire is the nutritional episodes where we talk a lot about it. But Devin highlights in one of them, which I was listening to the other day, it's ideal body fat. You know, or ideal body weight. We talk about 1 gram for 1 pound, but that really should be ratioed to the ideal body weight. So when we talk about going up and over, so let's say we're higher in weight than we would like to be, and we're trying to get the protein, and you could imagine if we're up to the 180, 190, those numbers are harder to reach and not necessarily what we should be aiming for on a day-to-day basis. So you want to get your ideal body weight in grams of protein per day. So there's no artificial flavors or preservatives, which is great. Like I said, clean and convenient is the number 1 thing that we look at. I am constantly looking for clean supplements, additives, and nutrients for my diet. And so this is definitely one with the standard that it's kept at. Absolutely phenomenal. Serving 30 servings per canister. The actual count of it after 30 servings is 23 grams per serving. So there's a scoop in there, the 23 grams. So you're talking about your whole day. Let's say you're trying to aim for 130, 140 grams of protein. Right there, that's your 23 post-workout. Sugar, super low. It's another great additive. So it's only got 1 gram of the sugar in there per serving out of your 23 grams. It's naturally sweetened with organic stevia sweetener, another great factor, and it's gluten-free and non-GMO. Those are just the fantastic highlights just off the bat as to why I would push this. Of course, I'm going to be a little bit biased, but that's because the science backs it up. So again, I've been looking for clean proteins for years, and the standard of this Burn Bootcamp Afterburn is where it's at. Some of the benefits, muscle recovery. So like I said, once you've torn those muscles in a workout, whether it's strength, cardio, conditioning, your muscles are looking for those building blocks to build back up stronger. And that's what they're looking for, is that protein base. So immediately you have a 45-minute window after your workout to get that protein in, which is the source that your muscles are looking for. It's going to aid in muscle repair, growth, all the benefits that you want to get from your workout and not lose those after you put in so much work on the floating floor. Supports muscle growth, which we already talked about, helps stimulate muscle protein synthesis, and basically gains over time. So strengthening over time. We're not talking about you're going to wake up the next day having taken a serving of protein and all of a sudden you're exactly where you want to be. But you put the work in, the protein's going to do the work after your workout for you. And I love that it's called AFTERBURN, because really that's what you're looking for after your workout, is you have an extended amount of time that you're still technically, your body is still working after a workout. Your workout doesn't finish the moment you press stop on your watch or the moment you stop lifting the weights. The afterburn and the continual progress is still made after that workout, not just within the time frame of you sweating it out. So you continue to get the gains throughout the day, and this just helps you along those benefits as well. Okay, here's where I'm going to get into the frequently asked questions. I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time, especially on a day that it is where it's New Year's Eve. Oh, another thing I wanted to throw in here for y'all. A fun little idea I saw as a New Year's goal, and this might be a trainer tip for another day going into it, but a goal setting was to make it into a bingo card. So oftentimes we just get into this list. I have these goals. I have these 10 goals for the new year: financial, relationship, fitness, all of the above. And it kind of gets boring. But what I saw someone do was make it into a bingo card, and then as the year goes on, you can actually slash these and see if you can win at your bingo card for the year. So put them all in boxes and get them done. That's just a side note. I thought that was really cool going into the new year as we go into 2026. Okay, when should I take Afterburn? I already went over this. Basically, it's an extension of your post-workout routine. So right directly after your workout, try and get it into that quick window. What's up, Tori? So you just came on. Into that quick window, again, to fuel those muscles. Is Afterburn a meal replacement? Again, I already went over that. No, it is not. It's low in calories, so it's a good thing, but your calories that are in there, 80% of those calories are coming from the protein. So that's why low carb, but also able to use that as not a meal replacement, but a building block. It's in addition. I like to added. We don't always have to minus things away. We're always saying, I'm not going to eat this, I'm not going to drink this, blah, 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 minus, 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 and we see a lot of the negative. But what about, what are the additives? What can I add to my diet that then may kind of push the other bad things, and I say bad very loosely, but the other not positive intakes of mine that can kind of fall off to the wayside because I am adding in more healthy aspects. So instead of looking at it as always negating things and always not, we can say, well, what can I add that's going to help? And this is definitely something, this protein is going to only add to your gains. Can I take more than 1 scoop of Afterburn post-workout? Yes, depending on your daily intake and your daily goals. So you can do anywhere, you could even minus at this point as far as saying I'm going to take half the scoop or a full scoop when you look at the amount of protein you're getting into. So the 23 grams full scoop, and again 110 calories per, but it's up to your goals. So what you're going to take is your goals. How much does it matter that Afterburn is not grass-fed whey? We hear that a lot in the fitness industry right now is, ooh, everything grass-fed, grass-fed. I want my whey, my protein sources, steak, meat, all that above, grass-fed. There's zero difference in the nutrient value grass-fed versus not necessarily non-grass-fed, but it really comes down to the processing factor of it. So how the protein is processed is more important than being grass-fed as a source. So since this is clean processing, it comes out with the components that you need, that's the factor that we really look at as the number one thing, not necessarily the grass-fed aspect. What is instantized whey protein and is it better for me? So if you've heard the difference between instantized and other, they don't usually say non-instantized, but they will highlight instantized versus the other. Basically, it just means that it's micro-filtered and it's not heat-treated. Heat can turn off components of the protein. So it ensures that the protein stays intact, like basically a whole component of protein, and you're not losing some of those heat instantized factors in, again, the processing of the protein. So it's basically making sure that it is completely bioavailable to your body. So again, what your body is looking for in the protein, all of that is available to you because it hasn't been lost in the processing of the protein, period. I could go into many details. Are there artificial flavors or preservatives? Nope. We already went over that. Gluten and GMO free? Yes, it's both gluten free and GMO free. Is it vegan friendly? That, however, it is not. So grass-fed whey being the basis of the dairy. Whey contains both milk and soy, so just be aware of that. There is an option for those of you looking for it outside of the whey protein. So that's something you can ask us about, but in itself is not necessarily vegan friendly. Can I take Afterburn if I'm pregnant, nursing, or planning to get pregnant? What do I come back to over and over and over with this question, and anything that involves really pregnancy outside of pelvic floor strengthening and what we can do in the gym, the 6 weeks coming back to it and all that kind of stuff. Talk to your doctor. Your primary care physician, number one, is going to know where you're at in your pregnancy. I always reference back whenever you're going to take a supplement or an additive to your diet that you're just unsure about, 100% go talk to your doctor. So always check in with that. That's really the answer I give all the time for that one anyways. My Afterburn Vanilla Whey canister has black specks in it, and sometimes they clump up. Is this normal? Apparently that's a frequently asked question. It's perfectly normal and safe. You know what? I don't think I've ever seen that myself. Oh, yeah? You won't see it on you can't necessarily in the details of the lot, but yeah. Black specks is part of the vanilla because people are concerned about, you know, what's added in and what's in there. It's to enhance the vanilla flavor. I know that that's a lot of components of just vanilla period, is you'll see some of those black specks. That is a flavoring component. Shake the canister, mix it up, especially when you're actually making your shake. I have to blend my protein powder. I actually have protein in my coffee this morning, and I have to blend it first. I am not a chunk gal as far as, like, I cannot. If there's a chunk in my protein shake, I cannot. I won't make that noise because that's awful. But that to say, I always have to blend mine. And I put other aspects in mine as well. In my Afterburn shakes post-workout, I'll put banana, peanut butter, fruit. You can really mix, I'll do almond milk. I don't like to necessarily mix it with just water. I'll blend it with some almond milk, some vanilla almond milk or something else, especially if it's a chocolate base or the other base of the flavor. But again, that's a tangent as to how your preference is as to how you want to take it. Some people can throw it in a shaker bottle, literally shake it up by hand and be great, good to go. And it'll break up just fine. Is Afterburn tested for lead? Apparently that's a question as well. It's not only tested for lead, but all heavy metals are included, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. It is tested for all of those. We are clean. So there you go. Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me. So tested for all those things, safe, clean, super convenient. Very excited to have it on the list of benefits in your nutritional line. You do not want to sleep on this protein powder. Like I said, even though the gym doors aren't open yet, we're getting back to those workouts. You're coming into pop-ups. You want to see the benefits of your hard work. So don't just let it go to waste. This is going to help you with that. And then number 2 is the creatine. That's another super important one we talked about in our last wellness. All right, guys. It's tested in an accredited lab. It's all good for your gains. I didn't see any necessarily questions come up, so if you guys have any questions, please throw them in the comments. If you're watching this after the live, comments, questions, concerns. Again, we got that pop-up coming up on the 3rd. Make sure you're not missing that as we get ready to open up these Burn Bootcamp doors. And don't sleep on that protein. Like I referenced, the Afterburn bars is another one. We might go over that in another Wellness Wednesday. But hope you all have a great last day of 2025. That's insane. As we come into this new year, get your goals written down tonight. Maybe put them on a bingo card. Make it fun. Make it something you enjoy to look at coming into 2026. And then last reference, which I didn't go into a full tangent before, is those focus meetings are available to you now. So all of you members in the group who are a day 1 crew, you're already getting the benefits of pop-ups. You're coming to all those. You're seeing the added bonus of being in this private group. Book your focus meeting. Even before gym doors open, I'd love to meet with you. You can ask more questions on these specifics or any of our other nutritional line. We can go over some of your stats and some of your goals for 2026, because we want to be able to be that support system for you. We want to be able to know you as a community, as each as individuals, and what you're working towards. That's going to make us as trainers so much more able to look at what your specifics as an individual are. You're not just a number when you walk into Burn Bootcamp. You are a person with goals, specifics, and struggles in life. And so we want to be able to support you on that journey, every single one of you. And again, continue to crush those goals, write them down. Hope you have a great New Year's Eve into New Year's Day tomorrow, and we'll be back at you next week on the Wellness Wednesday Live. Until our doors open, we're looking at 9 a.m., so keep your eyes posted on there. And then, of course, Monday through Friday, we've got tons of other things that are bulking up that membership for you as far as benefits go on the Mindset Monday, Trainer Tip Tuesday, and Form Q Friday. All right, guys, have a great Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday, I like to say. And again, throw those comments, questions, and concerns in the comments. We're going to continue this conversation throughout, and this video should be saved in some kind of library in the upcoming weeks, as they do usually finish off at 30 days. They get exited out of the group. So we'll have some kind of library where you can still reference these, still look at what the benefits of whey are, what the Afterburn really does for your body, and how it can, again, just help you crush your goals. Wonderful Wednesday, guys. We're going to finish this as we always do. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2. Have a good one.